Hello, hello, hello. The time of plenty is also often the time when most of us as gardeners start to feel a little bit overwhelmed. We look around us and all we see are things to do, and it becomes exhausting, and therefore we then end up with a little level of lethargy and inactivity as a result of the fact that we do not know how to deal with this much. I've actually just come to the allotment now, and I'm going to see what I can get done despite the fact that I lack the energy to do anything. There's a lot that needs doing, but I think it's the harvesting that is overwhelming me. There's so much to do in terms of harvesting, tidying, cleaning, and sometimes I just wish I could just sit down, and yet as soon as this season is gone, I'm going to be missing it. So let me show you a little bit of what needs doing at the allotment at the moment in terms of the harvest. I said I was going to show you what needs doing at the allotment, but there's a lot to be happy about in terms of what I have growing. I've got lovely Savoy leaf cabbage and leeks, which are doing fantastic. My broccoli looks like soon it will be starting to give me some heads, and it will be fantastic. In the near future, we're going to be harvesting some lovely bolota beans, and I thought that I'd actually put bolota beans in here, but this might be a French bean, and Lord help me, because I've got more French beans than I know what to do with. But since I'm going back to work, that is going to be something that will be okay to deal with. This bed needs activity sorted out. The Swiss chard that's here needs to be removed. My cabbage is doing beautiful. The tomatoes, let me tell you guys, these tomatoes have made me so proud. I don't know how else to thank them for all the fantastic bounty. And despite what everyone else's tomatoes are doing, my tomatoes are actually continuing to grow and produce massive, and I mean massive, fruit. My weed and feed day of every week has actually been a fantastic thing to do, and it's something I'll need to take forward. This was a side shoot I put in here, and look, we got so much fruit on it. It's like a main plant, and yet it came from this. This is the mother plant, who is still producing so much. And a lot of those will need to be harvested, but I still have fruit at home that needs harvesting. The other day, I harvested a lot of the rose crush because this plant looks like it's giving up the ghost. So I decided to harvest what was ready in order that I could give what wasn't ready time to grow. And it is doing well. I have potatoes to put in the ground. I've been practicing for next year's single seed potato challenge, and I've successfully managed to crop 5. In fact, it's going to be 6 plants from just one potato. One small potato it was as well. So I need to find space to put that in. I've got courgettes that are growing out of normal size. So I've got this one here to harvest. This is number 2, which also needs harvesting, and this plant needs tying. Got a few tomatoes here that need harvesting, and this is not a pork chop. I don't know what tomato it is, but it's one of the ones I have at home. It looks like the French beans are coming due very soon, and guys, look at this. This is it's beautiful, but oh my days, Lord help me when it comes to harvesting this. It is going to be work. As we walk down the main path, we've got tomatoes that are volunteers that I never put in, but they've managed to grow and are producing fruit. I don't even know what make of tomato that is, but it is fruiting. I've got another one here which has just spread its wings and is needing some level of support in order to keep it a little bit contained. My straw bed needs watering. My fantastic new bed needs watering in order that the kale, which has taken off, can actually do well. I've also got some Swiss chard to put in here. This one is, I don't know whether or not it will survive, so I may replace it with one of the Swiss chards. This bed needs clearing. There's a lot to do. I'm actually going to be putting out a video about everything that needs doing in order to get this allotment. But look at this. This is the reason why, excuse my shadow, you can't leave the allotment for more than 5 seconds. I just haven't been here for 1 day. And this is the size of courgette we end up with. These courgettes, the Romanescos, are lovely. I'm not complaining. But I feel like I love gardening, but I am not a big fan of harvesting. So I'll take this one even if it's a little bit small, because these guys grow really quickly and I do not wish to be coming back to another one this big. So I'll leave this one here and tomorrow it will be ready for harvest. I am grateful for the fact that everything is doing so well and everything is looking so fantastic. I am doing a few bits at a time. However, I feel like talking to you guys is the way in which I can actually energize myself to get things done. Because if I don't speak to you, sadly, in my life, I'm not surrounded by other people who enjoy gardening the way I do. And because of that, I'm dependent on my conversations with you and the comments I get back from people when I actually put out things to help me feel encouraged and positive about continuing my journey with my plants and my garden. Now I know that I'm going to have a courgette in here that needs harvesting. Let's have a look and see. This is from my straw bed. Now this one needs to be held up so that it can actually grow tall rather than creeping along the way it is. But I also don't want to break it, so I don't know how I'm going to achieve it. But there's a courgette there that needs harvesting today because tomorrow it will be bigger. I need to earth up my Maris Piper potatoes, which have actually decided to grow even more. Now the question becomes, these Maris Pipers, I thought they're actually flowering already, which is quite fascinating because they've not been in the ground that long. I'm going to still earth them up because I'm assuming if I earth them up, they'll continue to produce potatoes within this mesh I've created for them. However, my question is, do I take off the flowers? I need some help there because I have never really grown potatoes. I have beetroot which needs harvesting and processing. Now that I've discovered canning, that's what is going to happen to it. Okay, I haven't covered everything that needs doing in this video. However, I've given you an example of what needs doing. I have a longer video which will be coming out, which outlines everything that we need to do as gardeners and why we need to do it. So stay with me, like, subscribe, and keep me company during this difficult time. I'm actually going to, despite the fact that I've got a lot to do, I'm going to sit down for a moment and just sit in the quiet. And I feel like home at the moment is so noisy because we've got so many building works going on. I know summer is the best time to be doing building works, but it's creating so much noise, there's no peace. Something else I'm looking at right now are my sweet peas, which need harvesting. So let me get a chair out, sit myself down and take a moment to enjoy the peace. As Claire from the Farmyard Garden said, sometimes we have to take a moment to just enjoy our space, and I have been doing that. But even though I've been doing that, I feel like when you don't come to the allotment for say a day or two, what then happens is you end up with so much more to do than if you were coming more regularly. So for me, this is the reason why I often come down here. And I was just chatting with my husband right now, and he's like, what are you going to the garden again? I said yes, because there's so much to do. It is my hobby, but at times even hobbies can actually be a little bit overwhelming. And I think that those are French beans that I have trailing and growing out of this world. Lord help me. Anyway, I didn't come here to make you feel miserable. So I am grateful for all the fantastic produce I am getting. I am grateful for how beautiful my allotment looks. In fact, let's turn you around so you're not looking at my face. My face is not as interesting as looking at all the beauty around me. Hold on. So as I was saying, I am grateful for all the beautiful produce that I have, for the bountiful harvest that is before me now and in the future. I'm grateful for the beautiful flowers and what I've discovered about how wonderful flowers are for pulling in pollinators and making the space a lot more exciting to come to. I can't say that I've had matching web disasters. My beetroot may not be as huge as everyone else's, but that's something for me to explore and learn more about in the coming years. So we don't want to know everything and be successful in everything all at once, because then gardening will become a bore. So I am grateful. I am thankful. And I do enjoy your company when I'm here, which is why I do videos the way I do. I don't actually plan my videos most of the time. I come and then I think, oh, let me share with my friends who have chosen to follow me and subscribe. So I hope your gardens are giving you joy, and I hope you're having as good a time as I do when I'm not busy whinging. Right, let me go. Enjoy the peace. And I hope you have a good day. Have a good one. Bye. Hello and good morning. It is the next day. Stella is feeling a little bit better today than she did yesterday. However, I still have a lot to do. Let me show you a little bit about what I need to do in the home garden, which when I looked at combined with what I needed to do at the allotment made me feel a little bit overwhelmed yesterday. If you've been with me for a while, you'll be aware of the fact that I do grow vegetables at home as well. And I do love having a garden that is almost a jungle. And because of that, I'm not willing to reduce the amount I grow at home. This area here on the right hand side of my garden is dedicated to tomatoes. And right now, one of the key things I need to do is I need to go in there and harvest. I started harvesting whilst I was filling the reservoirs, but I've still got a few more tomatoes all the way down that I will need to harvest. But because I have this much to do at home, these tomatoes need to have some of the leaves cut off now, and they also need extra support. I took the supports higher up. I'm going to have to go to the garden center near me in order to get some more poles because I've run out. This year has been fantastic for tomatoes, and as a result, the tomatoes have needed more support this year than they did last year, because last year was a dud, really and truly, and we didn't get as much as we're getting this year. And additionally, what we found is everything is thriving and happy and growing. And so this has actually created a certain level of overwhelm at home. But I am content now that I've actually started to clear up a lot of what I hadn't done before. And once I start doing that, I tend to find that that sense of overwhelm is gone. But also on top of that, I was tired, guys. I have a watch that tells me how I'm doing in terms of my health. And one of the key things that it told me was the fact that I hadn't slept much last night. I knew that I hadn't slept much, but it's the issue is how little I had slept. I only had 3 hours sleep yesterday. So when I had 3 hours sleep yesterday and then decided to go to the allotment to try and actually do something, I was kind of running away from this. But obviously, you run away from one place only to discover that where you've gone also has a lot of stuff to do. But yeah, it is what it is, and I'm feeling a lot better today. I did not want to finish the video on what seemed to be a negative note in some ways because of the fact that, unlike my usual cheerful self, I was feeling a little bit exhausted and shattered. But now that I'm feeling a bit better, it is good to let you know that please do not worry. Stella creates her own problems, and even if they seem to be problems, ultimately they're not, because when you have so much growing in your garden and you have the joy of looking at it every morning, and even when I'm going to work now, I think one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make sure of the fact that I come out and have my coffee in the garden so that I can appreciate all these beautiful plants that have grown so well for me this year. I think I'm okay. It is good. Okay, have a good one.